dB sprite. Ah, there you go. See, I always do this and I never learn. Make sure you have to parentheses there apparently, and I did it right there again. Beautiful. So close those. Now we're going to finish these methods so we can get miscellaneous out of the way. We don't want to keep coming back here doing this and that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do our next method, which is reset everything. Now this is a must. You can't get away without doing this, because if you try it, Mario will not spawn when you die. He will not respawn. You won't see him, anything like that. Check player x equals player x. Same with y, so make sure I type this properly. Hover over them if you have to, just make sure the variable's there. Check player y equals player y, that's fine. Time equals 400, so we reset the time of the game. Lives equal 3. Now this only gets run when the game starts. Score equals 0, so reset the score. Am I alive? This will also be done when you're starting a new level, obviously, because I'm pretty sure points do not carry on from the previous one. So am I alive equals true, pretty much. And now our last method is one that is used quite a lot in games and hacks and so on. Why am I copying that? Don't copy that because I always type that wrong. Float. So what this one does is get to the distance. So this is a distance formula. Now int x1, int y1. So what this is used for is to check how far two sprites are from each other. So these can be sprites such as the piranha plant and Mario. So we want to find out how close they are in order to play the sound. In order to play the crunching sound, for example, or how close he is to the Goomba. And that's pretty much it. And then what we're going to do is going to return db sqrt, so that's square root of all this. 1, 2, 3. And the thing about square root is, from what I find out, is not very efficient, right? I don't know any other way of doing square root without doing this. Now, another thing that's inefficient is the squared method, the built-in squared method apparently. So x2 minus x1. So what we're doing instead is we're timesing them that by themselves, which is the exact same as squaring them. So in theory this is faster, or it should be anyway, from what I've read in a few different places. And then we got y2. So this is just a distance formula. You can always also have a 3D distance formula, but this is the one we use for this. So if it was 3, we include the z-axis as well. I think we did this on our first-person shooter tutorial, if you did that with me as well. 2, 3. So yeah, that should be alright. So let's just open that, see if it closes there at the end. Yeah, great stuff. So this should be alright now. Probably should have put int there. I'm sure you guys noticed that. So int y, and let's try to build this. Make sure that's alright. And there you go. So only one error, coins picked up. Now why is coins picked up erroring? Is that because I've got it commented maybe, or I'm wondering, where is that? Where is this being called? Coins picked up. Why haven't I got coins picked up method? So I've only got it called once. Coins. Coins picked up. I don't even think I've got this method in. I'm gonna have a look quickly. It's probably just one of my usual mistakes. So we're looking at QC coins picked up. Yeah, I do have that method. Where is that? Character events, coins picked up. Coin picked up, not coins. That was my bad. No. Coin picked up, and there it is. And that's errorless stuff. So you won't see anything else than you saw before, but now we're going to do a few things to make sure you do see the new good stuff. Or will you? Character events. Yes, we should be able to see it now. So you know what we'll see in a second. So next thing we're going to do, so we added those. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to look for the word here, right, in capitals. Hopefully you did it just like I did, right? And here we go. We found what we want. We found myevents.createPlayer, which I typed wrong in the first place. And here we go. We'll leave that alone. Actually, leave that alone for now. We'll search for it again in a second. So what we need to create is our decorator. yeah, we need to create our character events object. So just comment there, it doesn't really matter too much because you'll know what this means in a second. Let's go to enemies. Do we have the enemies class about? So we have it right here. So let's just go here and say, I'm gonna go character events, this object. Now the reason why we do this is because it's more useful this way, my events, and that's it really. That's all you need to do. Hopefully there will be no error there. Beautiful, see? And what happens is we see Mario. You won't be able to control yet because we haven't done the physics, but you've got it. So just a few more steps, and we've basically got the physics working. So all we need to do now, right? So we're gonna call the level animations on main. If we go on main, yeah, we can do this now because this is essential pretty much. Apparently not. It's not big. We decided this earlier to have small letters. I forgot about that. And that's fine. There you go. So, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So create a player. So what we're going to do is we're going to write the physics class, and this is our fine movement. Now we need to do this obviously so we can control Mario, have him about. So this is a fairly complex one. Now one thing I really wasn't going to mention, but I might as well, is if you guys want, I mean it'd be rather silly if you get this far and do it, but if you guys want, you can pretty much have this completed without the Goombas by the end of this class, I think. You don't actually need to have you don't actually need to have the whole class, the whole code completed. So excuse me, so if you just want the physics and movement working and you can move Mario about the whole map, so after we've done this, everything is working except the enemies. So once we've got that, basically all we have to do is just the enemy physics and the enemy animations. Now that will be a fair bit of code, but we can have it done. Not too probably, I think in about an hour we can have this done. So let's just get on with it. So was running a bit low on space on my D drive there, so I had to delete some stuff. Anyways, I think I've got about 200 gigs worth of video already. It's ridiculous. So anyways, we're going to start off by doing it's a bit like a race. I have to do this quick so I don't run out of, I think I got about 500 gigs, but and movement, yeah, I've got about 500 gigs, but still it's like, oh my god, ridiculous. What the hell have I got phi there for already? That's weird. What is phi? Is that variable maybe or something? I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that. I think that's a constructor. Yeah, that will be probably the constructor. Anyways, player jump. So that's our first thing, player jump. Alright. See, first thing we're gonna do is the more easy methods, and then come the more difficult ones. So void player jump. If db space key, if db space key, and space key pressed. Let's try and avoid the typos. Equals false. If not jumping, and space key pressed equals sorry, if not jumping and touching ground, my bad, touching. So if he's not jumping, oh my god, space terrible, touching ground, so he's touching ground and he's not jumping, then we allow him to jump. db play sound s jump. Then we have space key pressed equals true. Touching ground equals true, blah blah. Do that equals true. Jump start timer equals db timer. Jump start timer equals db timer. And jumping equals true. So he's now jumping equals true, and that's what we're going to pick up on to work with the move the player about and so on. db space here. Yep, that's so on. player jump, and then what we do here is we go if jumping. So that means if jumping equals true. Oops, my bad. If db timer minus that's a parenthesis because it's a method. Jump start timer. I really got to learn to create smaller values, smaller named variables. Otherwise, I'm screwed. Player y equals player y minus speed y. What you can do here is where you can say minus equals, it's the same thing, but I've written this on my example, so I'm just going to go with that. Player y equals player y minus speed y, so we're decreasing the height. No, sorry, we're increasing it. Plus speed y, is that right? Oops, sorry, no, that's not that. Basically just saying get to that point, jumping equals false. And that point is 800 or 720 milliseconds. I did these numbers because I felt comfortable with them. If you want to increase that time he spends in the air, then you increase this variable here and this one. I don't recommend you doing that, or you'll spend ages in the air. So player y equals player y. And then we're saying, and then we say, yeah. So if db space key equals 0, then space key pressed equals false. Okay, that makes sense to me. Now, usual mistake, you need to put two of those bad boys in there. Open, 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 close, open, close. Space key. Do you? I don't think you do actually. Jumping equals false. So player y equals player y plus speed y. Now speed y is 5 because excuse me, that's an acceptable variable for the thingy. So because it's 65 the size of the tile, so if we move 5 by every time, you'll never have a bad collision. Now it's not the best way of doing collision, definitely isn't, but it's not a bad one. It works, so you really don't want to do that, obviously, when it comes to very hard stuff, and you really want to have pixel perfect collision, and you do have it on this actually, but if you're doing very complex stuff, no one's going to have that because you limit yourself to a size of tiles. If jumping, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing that menu for you guys. So let me know if you're interested in that, because once you finish this, if you're hearing me talk now, it's because you're nearly done with the tutorial most likely, or you're about to quit. Either way, equals false. Yeah, you really don't need these ifs here. If you want to just have the jumping equals false and the thing equals false, I mean, it's up to you, that's fine. It's just sometimes I'm doing these things and I'm not actually thinking too much about them. Yeah, so I'd be able to make a really cool menu. So what we're going to do now is int phi and movement. So have we got that stored? Yes, that bit's with an int phi and movement, and we have Mario Walker collision, and what we have is that, so we do it here and close that as usual, and then what we do here is we check through all the walkers if he's collided, check him. Yeah, if Mario's collided with a walker, so for in I equals 0, I is less than max walkers, I++. Now all this does is return whether there was a collision or not. It doesn't do anything about it. This is something you query from the from another method, which you'll find out in a second. I don't actually know, but I'll find out as well, I guess. So if dbSprite exists, if dbSprite exists, so all this says is constantly just check so walkers, constantly check if the sprite is available, if it exists. If it doesn't, then don't pay attention to it. And it's constantly going through all the thingies, all the Goombas and other walkers to check if they're in collision with Mario. If they are, we'll do something about it. So if we'll use this method check and then do some